believe it. 3 seasons into this show. It's
I
awesome.
know. September, first week, season 3. So exciting.
Exactly. Do you remember
I missed
when
my
shows, but remember when shows actually had seasons though? And it wasn't like you couldn't just binge watch them on Netflix. Like
Yes.
you actually had to wait for the
Yes,
September.
exactly. Who was waiting? I know there's a lot of people have been waiting because we're doing giveaway of prizes.
Yeah.
I got tons of people who really want the prize this month. Lots of entries, so it's
Yes.
exciting. Yeah,
It
can't
is,
wait
but
to see.
we have a special guest. We have Ashton from TD Bank, which is a great
Welcome.
thing because today we're going to make a Millionaires Coffee, and we're going to talk about rates and mortgages and which one's right for you. And honestly, with today being the day that interest rates were up,
Yes.
the bank prime was
This
up
was
by
like
75
so not
basis
planned, but it is. So
It
we
is.
will talk about how this change will affect the buyers and the sellers, I guess.
Yeah.
But let's start with the fun part first. You know, you
Priorities.
can't talk about rates without alcohol.
Yeah.
So we are making Millionaires Coffees, which sounds very delicious. I'm looking at my drink already. It's like, yum.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me. I didn't turn off the sound on my phone.
That's okay. My dogs are going to bark through this whole thing. They're outside. So we're going to start with Bailey's.
So as usual, we can see we have a recipe on the screen there. So you guys can rewatch the show and copy it later.
So this Millionaires Coffee kind of gives you a bit of a kick. It's that kind of nice. I always like the fancy coffees on like Sunday morning.
I like it on a cold afternoons, like you know when it's like crispy and you go in somewhere and you just want to warm up, but you wanted something really fancy.
And then what's nice though, sorry I made a mess, is it is that kind of great fancy coffee, the one that you can wow your friends with after dinner. You've got all your ingredients. It's half an ounce of each Bailey's, Frangelico, Kahlua, and then you just top it off with 6 ounces of coffee. Take your whipped cream.
Yeah.
Woo.
Make it extra fancy.
Extra fancy. If you really like whipped cream, put on extras. And then top it with a little bit of cinnamon.
And you know what? It's kind of perfect. Like we are going in the fall, you know, like we like that spicy drinks. The cinnamon kind of goes well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pass out coffee.
Thank you so much.
Like it's a really big cup.
Take a look at this.
Cheers.
So Millionaires Coffee.
Millionaires
there you
Coffee.
go. Little bit of kick.
Let's see if I'm gonna feel like a millionaire after drinking this.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Nice, eh?
Yep. Perfect.
Nice fancy coffee. And
Mm.
if there's coffee, it's really business-like because there's coffee.
It's coffee.
It's a very professional cocktail.
I feel like it kicked butt to my just Bailey's and coffees that I had camping. Like, I should have made this. Oh my god! I feel like I missed out the whole summer.
Yeah.
I've been drinking this.
It's like a fancy Bailey's and coffee.
It is
10 times better.
What a great way to start Tipsy Realtors.
With lots of energy because we
cooking and alcohol, so it's great. All right. Well, now that we've had a few of this,
these are so good.
I like the whipped cream part. I'll be honest. I like a little kick.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we're all serious with our serious coffee.
The first topic of the season, I'm going very serious, but it is a really perfect timing because a Bank of Canada has announced an increase to overnight rate. So Ashton, why don't you just tell us first how this is going to affect people just in general?
Yeah, absolutely. So anytime the Bank of Canada moves the interest rate up or down, obviously that immediately affects variable interest rate and floating interest rate mortgage holders. So you want to be wary of that. Some lenders' payments will actually increase or decrease. With TD specifically, we don't change your payments until you hit what's called a trigger point, which is kind of nice. Yeah, at least you have some time to kind of plan for those increased payments, and you can just adjust your budget accordingly. So,
how can you find out when that trigger point is?
So it's stated in your mortgage agreement, and your mortgage lender should be going over that with you when you sign your papers.
Nice.
Or obviously if you don't have it handy, you can
So
always
just
reach
a
out to your
comment
bank.
from what I
Yeah.
understood, like I kind of heard that before.
Yeah.
That means if you are keeping the payments the way they are, you are paying more interest but less principal. Is that
Exactly.
correct?
So it
Yeah.
naturally lengthens what we call your amortization period.
Mhm.
So if you want to be on top of it and make sure you're still paying your mortgage down,
Okay.
obviously you want to increase your payments as
But
the
if
rates
you want that
increase.
stability and you're
Yes.
not ready to increase
Yeah.
your payments, it gives you that option,
Yeah.
which is really nice.
I didn't even know. I think that's such a nice thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is.
Especially because people worry, right, about their budgets
Exactly.
and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you may not, overnight your payment could potentially go
Right.
up $100. And
Mhm.
some people can't afford that, especially in today's world. So many things are going up. So it does offer a lot of flexibility on the variable rate. But in this increasing rate environment, obviously, it's not ideal for variable interest rate holders. But
And
yeah.
we have touched that, sorry, Robin, we have touched this right before the show. The people who have been pre-approved
Yes.
and have things on hold,
Yes.
right, as long as like on a fixed conventional
Yes.
mortgages.
So
right?
really important.
Maybe
if
you should
you're,
define what's conventional mortgage
yes.
as well.
So if you're currently in a scenario where you are pre-approved and you're looking to buy a property, if you are doing an insured mortgage, which means you're doing less than 20% down, it could impact your pre-approval immediately with these rate increases if the fixed rates and obviously variable are going up, because obviously higher interest rates mean a higher qualifying rate, which means your purchasing power is going to go down. So if you are doing less than that 20%, really important to make sure that you're watching your pre-approved value when you're making offers, and maybe check with your mortgage advisor prior to making an offer to make sure you're going to be okay for the purchase price that you want.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so let's pretend you've
Yeah.
got pre-approval right now. You're putting less than 20% down. How
Mhm.
will this affect their purchasing power? Like, would it take them down or up? Well, obviously,
Yeah.
down by like what, 50,000, 100,000?
So
Let's do 500,000.
Yeah,
That's the easiest number to
There you
calculate.
go.
So I'm not super, quick on the math aspect of things, but
Sorry.
yeah, no, that's okay. I've got lots of calculators for that. Thanks, TD. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. With me, like personally, I would go in and look at where can I make adjustments potentially for the client. If they're really desiring that higher purchase price, sometimes we might be able to tweak it a little bit. But it's really going to come down to everyone's individual situation and what their income is like and what that pre-approval amount is.
So from your organization, TD Bank,
Yeah.
since overnight has been changed, so
Yes.
it's which is prime rate.
Yeah.
For people who don't know what overnight is.
Yeah.
But you guys changed already fixed rates?
No. So TD has not moved their rates yet for the fixed rates. Tomorrow, all variable rates will be going up by 0.75%. I would anticipate that we'll probably see some increases on the fixed rates in the following days.
Okay.
That's kind of been the trend the last year anyways, or since March when they started moving the rates up. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there is lots of different kind of products
Yes.
out there that people can get, which is actually kind of cool, and not everyone knows about it. My favorite one I love telling people about is a Purchase Plus Improvements mortgage, because people have no idea that that even exists.
Yeah.
That you can buy a house and actually put the improvements you want to do into the house if the bank agrees.
Yes.
Into the mortgage. And then there's lines of credit, there's HELOCs. The one product you have me on one of our houses is as you pay it down, the equity becomes a line of credit, which is so great.
My
personal
favorite. Yeah.
So tell us about those kind of products. So there's a lot of different products that people don't realize. It's not just a fixed mortgage. It's not just a variable. And even terms, like the terms of mortgage, you can have a 1-year term, a 2-year term, a 10-year term.
Yeah.
You can lock your rate in for lots of different times, which we had talked about when the rates were really low, locking in longer. Yeah. And then on top of it, you can have different lengths of amortization. What's the maximum amortization length with TD Bank someone can get?
Oh, that's like a big question. And I have one question to follow that. So what I liked about the plus improvements, because people may not afford the property of the dreams anymore. They may go with something that needs some work.
Yes. Yeah.
And if we can talk about, does the down payment has to change? How does that calculates into it? Yeah. Because we want to make sure, even if let's say they're buying something for $450, and they need 20,000 of extra work,
Yes.
can they qualify for
Yes,
it?
absolutely.
Okay?
So 20,000 questions go.
Yeah. Okay. Try and get that all straight.
Aston show.
Yeah. So, absolutely, we do have a Purchase Plus Improvements mortgage option. So that's where we will lend up to $40,000 in additional value on the home.
I didn't realize
For-
there was a cap. So
There is,
40,000,
yes,
good to know.
there is on that particular product. So, basically, you just have to qualify. So, like, let's say you were purchasing for $450, you wanted to do $40,000 in improvements, we would need to qualify you for $490. Okay, and you would have to put up the additional down payment on that $40,000.
What you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward after that. You just have to kind of get contractor quotes. Now, the only kicker is on this one is you do have to pay for the improvements first.
Yeah.
And then we will pay you back once they're completed.
Mhm.
So solicitor handles all of that.
So
But
you pay
it's really
contractors.
important. Yes. Yeah.
But hypothetically,
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
if they were to, let's say, do it in stages, because they don't have, obviously, like, let's pretend they don't have $40,000 cash. They could
Yes.
do it in a $10,000 stage, provide receipts, show
Yes.
the $10,000 work is done, get
Yes.
the 10 grand back, do the next $10,000 stage.
So yes and no. There is also construction draw financing, which is another type of mortgage, which is exactly what you're referencing. So depending on, we would have to talk about that at the time if you're going to do it in a couple of different stages. But
But the door's not closed on.
No, definitely not.
So-
There's definitely options there for that.
I think one of the things I find through even like talking to some of my clients who went with a mortgage broker I don't know, they don't ask the right questions. And to all the people out there watching the show, ask as many questions. You're professional. If you don't like the solution or you feel like you're stuck, ask if there is any other option that you can consider.
Yes.
If you don't know, you don't know to ask the right question, then ask a question like, is there anything else you can recommend?
Or even sometimes talk to us, your real estate agent.
And if you call Robin and myself, obviously we will ask those right questions for you.
Yeah, and lots of times with our clients, we'll give them questions to ask because we're there with you in the house and we can see what the house needs.
Yeah.
We can see kind of what you're talking about because we'll talk about, what can you afford? Why are you making those choices? And we might be able to guide you as to which questions to ask and which ones not to. My favorite one is when, even though this is getting off track, because we also asked her about what different kinds of products there are out there. But my other one is about porting of mortgages.
Yeah.
I always get my clients to make very specific inquiries about what questions to ask when it comes to porting their mortgage. Because every mortgage is portable from one house to the next. But the house and you still have to qualify, right?
Yes. So you have to requalify, and also very important, variable rates are not portable. So if you're
I didn't know that one. I learned something new right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So very important to know about that. Variables, they have a 3-month interest only penalty to break early.
Yeah.
But you can also, if you really wanted to port, you can actually renew into a fixed rate at any time on a variable, and then you could technically port it. So
there you go.
Lots of options for
yes,
sure.
and again with like porting the mortgages, like while with this on the topic, ask if there is a penalties because not everybody is equal for the bank organizations or lending institutions.
Yeah.
There are sometimes penalties even for portable. I don't know if TD, I don't think have any, or it depends on the loan. Depends on
the only terms that would not have a breakage fee at all would be an open rate mortgage.
Okay.
Very important.
So
a portable, if you port the mortgage, as it's fixed, there's no penalty though, right?
If you port, there is no penalty as long as you're porting the exact amount that you currently owe over.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or more. And then obviously.
And that's called an extended blend.
The whole other,
And it is a blended interest rate as well. So
if you borrow more,
quite often assume when they port the mortgage, they keep the same rate, which is not true.
Yes.
Right?
Yes and no. If you're borrowing additional funds, then we would blend the additional funds at current interest rates.
That's right.
So,
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
mortgage products.
Mortgage products. Yeah. Let's
okay.
Oh my God.
We talked about a couple. So there's obviously, Purchase Plus Improvements. You can do construction draw financing if you're wanting to build your own home. That can be very cash heavy. So my advice there, if you want to build your own property, save as much cash as you can all the time. My favorite and I would say my favorite product is our home equity line of credit. So if you have equity in a home, you can refinance and get a line of credit on that property for X amount of dollars that you can use in the future for anything that you might need. very
Buying a second home.
in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how she's doing it.
that's well, and it's a good example because Costa Rica, I think you have to be a citizen or permanent resident, I'm not sure, in order to buy an actual property down
To
there.
finance.
Yeah, to finance. Thank you. Yeah.
They
So-
do have sellers financing, but
Right.
sellers financing down there is like 9 to 10%. And
Yeah.
it's only for 5 years. So
Yeah.
it's ridiculous and not worth
Yeah.
it, even when you're getting only 5%
Mhm.
here.
So it's an incredibly valuable option. If you have a lot of equity built up, you can buy your vacation home of your dreams. You can do renos on your current property, buy an investment property, whatever it might be, vehicle financing. Like there's a million options for you there.
And you can set up the home equity line as soon as you're setting up your mortgage. Is that
Yes.
correct?
So if you are doing 20% down or more on your purchase, you can immediately qualify for a home equity line as opposed to a traditional mortgage. I tell all my clients, if you can do it and you're responsible with your funds, go with the home equity line every time. As you pay down that balance, you have access to the equity in your house.
Okay.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And you don't have to refinance later. So.
Well, and the other thing that I love about it is, and I mean this kindly, I hate going to the bank and begging for my money because it's my money.
Yes.
And I don't know why I have to go and feel like I'm begging for what is already mine. So that's why I love the home equity lines of credit.
Because they already.
Because I already have access.
Yeah.
And you should have access. It's your money.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. Instead of having to sell your home and like, who knows what that's going to look like for you. Like, again, I could go on and on about this product. My personal favorite for sure, just because of the flexibility.
Well, again, if you guys have any questions about any products or any rates like we were mentioning, and please drop a comment on Facebook. We can also get you in touch with Ashton directly. You can talk about what is you particularly need because there's a lot of things you need to be done on individual cases.
So many options.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is there any other products that you can think of? So we talked about the HELOC. We talked about the Purchase Plus improvements. Obviously, there's the RSP down payment.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many different things. I would say one thing that comes to mind, a lot of people have questions on is bridge financing. So if you want to sell your current home and you also want to buy another one, I find like clients can be really confused about that process. Like, how do I do this, right?
Yeah, what happens in that period between the sale and the purchase possession day, right?
Yes. So with TD, as long as you have a firm sale and a firm purchase on your current property and then the one that you want to buy, we can bridge the gap if you need the money from your current home for the down payment on your new one.
But there's a time frame.
That's 120 days.
Oh my God.
That's exciting.
Yes.
I have a client, I thought it was 30.
Yes. No, it is. You've got 4 months pretty much.
Okay.
So
That's a very long bridge financing.
Oh, they're going to be so excited.
Yeah.
Does it cost anything for a client to do bridge financing?
So you'll just have to essentially pay the interest for the amount of time that you're bridging. So if you're waiting a week to get the funds from the sale of your current home, but you've already moved into your other one, you'd have to pay interest for that week for the loan. So.
Do you know roughly what interest rate that's at?
Yeah, I think the last time I checked, it's high. It's around 6.5%, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, that might be changing now because of the rate increase.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So there's lots of different options, especially sometimes right now people will be planning, selling and buying. And if you are concerned about buying of the new news, please just talk to your mortgage broker. How does it affect me? Can I do something to change my situation? What needs to be done? And and maybe consider some of the options.
Yeah.
Well, and also too is if you're coming up to renewal period, obviously give Ashton a call because renewal period is when you can switch the bank of which you're with and look for those kind of best rates, best deals, best situations for you. And at the same time, is let's say hypothetically this new rate increase is going to affect your affordability of your home. Instead of selling it, you may be able to advertise that period out a little bit longer, make the payments a little bit smaller, and just get you through this patch. Because obviously things are going to keep getting better. We're out of COVID. We're out of all that bad stuff. We're headed on the way up. That's actually, believe it or not, interest rates. They're raising interest rates to lower inflation. And the only reason we're having inflation is because things are happening in our economy. So it is
globally,
a good thing.
Actually, not just in Canada. So the whole global economy is affected.
Exactly. So it is getting better, but it's hard to see that interest rates going up is a good thing, but it is.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was telling Robin, we are 0.25 for overnight rate, prime rate. It's not like it's a ridiculously high rate, and we never had it before historically.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like we actually, I can't remember what years, but those was several years. I think
Yes.
2009.
The 80s into 90s, like
Yeah.
interest rates were double digits
Yeah.
constantly, up to almost 20%
But
at
we've
one
had
point.
this prime rate in the last like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
When
Yes.
when I started real estate 23 years ago, getting a 5% interest rate was normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And relatively speaking, you know, we're in that 5% range right now, and
Yeah.
they're really
the
not
fixed
that
product,
bad
yeah.
considering what they've been like in the past. So.
Yes, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
all about tweaking and working with what you got.
Yes.
And we have the team for you to
Exactly.
figure it
Yeah.
out, what that would be like and how you can get it. But we do have
Price
a fun
time.
price time. We have an price in July, what it's going to be. And we had a guest on our show from Fifth and Vermouth. It's a barware company, local here in Calgary. And they sponsored us with a two, they were two modern, Moscow Mule mugs. They two different mugs. And that was our last drink, Moscow Mule.
Yes.
And
Super, and great timing too in the fall, Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
yeah. From Remax Realty Professional, all the prizes being approved by Remax Realty Professionals and with the Robin Moses and Associates, myself. We are doing cheese board and cutlery set.
Which again is great timing because you're getting into that.
We were talking about sending kids to school and doing charcuterie with the Moscow mug on the patio.
Yes.
So here you go. That's our big prize. And you had a whole August and half of July to enter. And again, thank you so much for everybody who entered. With my Wheel of Fortune here.
Yeah. I love how everything's like just technology now.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like really wanted it because they tried to enter on every single thing they like was posted. So here we go with spinning. Oh, let's see if I can.
Ooh.
Where's my mic? My mic.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see.
Look at all those names.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Ellen de Grand Prix.
Woo!
Thank you so much. You're the winner.
Congratulations.
For great job, Ellen.
Yes,
These are for you.
we'll just contact you and get your information. We'll send it your way, and of course, we will need a photo of how you're putting it.
Absolutely.
To good work.
We want to see your first charcuterie in Moscow Mule.
Yes, and next, so now we back on weekly basis every Wednesday, 12:15. Tipsy Realtor Season 3 will be running live shows. We are doing kind of a fun topic, Feng Shui.
And yeah, we're doing the China Blue as a drink and Feng Shui.
Yeah.
Feng Shui your home. We're going to get into Feng Shui. I feel like we should do that. Like, there's a song, isn't there? Like a party song? I don't know.
About Feng Shui?
Yeah, it's like from the 80s.
My body's on a solo cup, so.
So you can find us
on all
YouTube.
Yes, on all social media platforms.
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we're working on Twitter.
We're still working on TikTok.
TikTok. Sorry, you're right. We are on Twitter too.
We keep trying. Anyway, and you guys remember to love, like, invite your friends to our show, share our videos, and you will be entered to win in the first show of October. And
I forgot to bring up the prize.
We didn't bring the prize. We were so excited. I'll give it away this prize. I want to make sure that we give our big prize.
Okay, so there is a prize. It is super cool. We'll bring it on next show, and we'll show you what it is. But like and share. You don't want to miss this prize. It is exactly what you're going to need in the month of October.
Yes, and the fall market is here, guys. So, the numbers are looking very positive.
Yeah.
If you are thinking of selling or buying a home in the next couple months, especially because that's where the activity is, call this number. Robin and myself are here. We are all back from the holidays. Nobody's going anywhere. And we will be here to...
Hoping I'm not going anywhere.
One of us will be here.
So, I think my husband took away my passport out of all my trips.
So, but we'll all be going to be here to serve all your real estate needs.
All right. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great day.
Guys.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.